depending on where you are tuned in from. This is the Thursday Morning Digest, and as always, we come to you live from the Elevate TV studios, where we bring you guests to speak to us who are women, who are able to speak to women issues, who are able to speak to women in the marketplace so that we can be empowered. So please share the link on your social media platforms. Let's have as many people joining us this morning, because we have an exciting guest yet again who is coming to talk to us about issues that relate to single women. And as always, I begin the show with certain questions, and today is not an exception. So are you single? Are you single and searching? Have you been single and waiting on God, and you're wondering, when will this man ever come? Or when will this mate ever come? Or how do I even wait, So today we have an exciting guest in studio who will be taking us through those and many, many other things. So I want to welcome you to our show. And I am your host, as always, Laureen Magotsi. So without taking much time, I want to welcome our guest today, Pastor Eva. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please introduce yourself and tell our viewers who you are.
Okay. My name is Pastor Eva Mukami. I am excited to be in this show this morning. I am an auto engineering by training. I am a lecturer by practice. I am a pastor and a teacher by calling. And I am an administrator by passion.
Wow.
And again, I'm the founder of the Bold Singles community.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Yes.
I will talk about the Bold Singles community shortly.
Yes.
But before we get there, you have so many roles rolled up into one. I'm curious to know, where did Pastor Eva begin this whole journey of ministry and lecturing and all that? Please tell us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I started by saying that I'm a water engineer by training.
Yes.
So that is what I trained for after I cleared Form 4 and worked in the corporate world until 2014. Then from there, I had a call, and then I joined Bible school.
Okay.
So I first started as a student, and I did my undergrad, a BA in Biblical Studies at KAG East University for 4 years.
Wow.
Graduated with a first class.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I was still serving as an admin. Yes, in one of the offices.
Yes.
In the registrar office, and then later in the vice chancellor's office.
Okay.
So that is where my passion for admin grew.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm an administrator by passion.
Yes.
So it's not something I've gone to school to learn. I've done it because of practicing it over and over again.
Okay.
And it's something I love to do. And again, I serve as a pastor.
Yes.
At International Christian Center Buruburu, which is a campus of ICC Nairobi. As an admin pastor.
Wow.
Yes, so
wow.
the two roles combine.
Wow.
But the fact that I'm trained as a pastor, and now I serve as an admin.
Okay.
Supporting the senior pastor.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow. What a profile. So thank you so much for agreeing to come to our show today.
Yes, thank you.
I think we want to just look at the meat of our discussion today, which takes us to talking about singles.
Yes.
And before we begin, maybe you tell us, are you married? Are you single? Yeah, just then we pick it up from there.
Okay. I'm a single woman in waiting.
Yes.
So it's been a journey, and I thank God this far. And the reason why I'm passionate speaking to single women who are waiting, and more so mature single women, is because I understand where the shoe hurts. Yes.
Okay. All right. So maybe now we can delve just into our discussions. And as we look at the journey that you have taken, maybe we can begin with the single women that are listening to us this morning, that are also waiting.
Yes.
You've gone through that journey. What would you just tell them in terms of I've come this far, this is where I'm at, but this has been the journey that I've taken to get here?
Okay.
Yes.
I want to share and say waiting is not easy. Whether you're waiting for a baby, you're waiting for a promotion,
Yes.
you're waiting for a visa.
Yes.
And of course, as a godly woman, when you're waiting for your godly spouse, it is not an easy journey.
Yes.
And I remember I was having a discussion with my mother, and she brought up an issue of a relationship I had when I was in my 20s. And then I kept thinking, did I miss the bus? Because I had time to reflect and look at my past.
Yes.
But now I sat down and realized God has a plan for my life. And that is why it may look like it has taken long, but I'm in his calendar and in his plan. And then again, I took time to reflect one Sunday afternoon. I was coming from church, and then I happened to, get a lift. My sister had a car, and then she gave me a lift.
Yes.
She had a 3-year-old baby in the car. And then I was lost in my thoughts, wallowing about my singleness and wondering when will I have a family of my own to just go home and enjoy a Sunday afternoon with. And then out of the blues, the daughter started reciting Jeremiah 29 verses 11. Like I started shedding tears because I felt a confirmation in my spirit from God saying that I know the plans I have for you.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, because I was, how do I say, I was lost in my own thoughts, wondering when will this happen.
Yes.
But there was the assurance from God that he knows the plans he has for me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, from the mouth of a small baby, how now? But now it confirmed in my spirit that it was God assuring me
Yes.
that he has a good plan
Wow.
concerning my future. And my future is in his hands. Yes.
Okay. Wow. So viewers, you're listening to us this morning. It's not an easy journey, but it is one that you have to take with faith, believing and knowing that God has your calendar.
Yes.
And you don't have to follow somebody else's calendar. Okay. So how did this issue of bold singles become a passion for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good question. I've been in spaces where I've realized every time as singles we meet to pray singleness away. But we don't sit to discuss issues that we are going through, where we get to, be real, vulnerable, and encourage each other as we pray for each other. Because there are moments you're discouraged.
Yeah.
And having this community means you have a safe space where you can come and share your struggles, share what is bothering you.
Yes.
And with that you get an encouragement from others who have gone through it. Because you may be 30 but there's someone who's 40. You may be 40 but there's someone who's 50 and still waiting on God. So when they share their story, they encourage you to wait and hold on and know that God has the best in store for you. So this was born out of my personal journey, first of all, because I'm a single woman in waiting. And I'm trusting God and I'm believing in his promises.
Yes.
Because the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verses 16 says that none shall lack her mate, that the Spirit of God will gather us. And when I speak that encouragement to somebody else, or rather share my life story, I encourage somebody who's, in the space of probably giving up. I've also been in that space. I wouldn't say that it's been smooth all the way. There are many times I've felt like, how long will this be? Because when God says he knows the plan, he did not specify the plan will be in 2023 or in 2024.
Yeah.
So I have to believe him, I have to hope in his word, I have to be confident enough. And so the reason why we are starting this community for bold singles is so that we may have that space where you'll be felt, you'll be loved, you'll be cared and not judged. Depending with how you've lived your life.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I want us to just look briefly at what are some of these challenges, because I think those that are married, perhaps they have their own set of challenges that they may not necessarily understand what, a single woman is going through, someone who we would consider quote unquote, you know, of marriageable age.
Yes, yes.
So what are some of those challenges in your own experience, and of course dealing with others, because you're very passionate about, you know, getting together a community that, you know, will bring women, this category of ladies together?
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the challenges is the way the world views sex.
Yes.
The world view about sex. It is contrary to God's word. Because sex out of marriage is considered as sin.
Yes.
But according to the world, it's considered as fun. You know, it's adventurous.
Yeah.
It is a place where we, you know, get to know each other and say we are becoming intimate.
Yeah.
But we stand and believe, you know, the way the Bible says in Romans chapter 12, verses 1, that we present our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable before God. So God has called us, you know, to a life of purity, to a life of sanctity, that we need to, you know, give of ourselves, and first of all, our bodies, even before we present the gifts that God has given us.
Yes.
So he expects of us to believe and live according to his word.
Yes.
The other thing is that God created sex in the context of marriage. So every time we do it outside of marriage, we defy our own bodies. And of course, the Bible says our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
So we need to live lives that glorify God by the way we live and how we carry ourselves. Yes.
Okay.
So that is number one. The other thing is, what company do we keep? Because the company that we keep matters a lot. What do you watch online or offline?
Yes.
Because this is what leads you. You know, because the company that you keep will determine what you watch corporately.
Yes.
Because every time you meet to hang out, there's what you'll find them watching, and you'll be enticed to be part of that.
Yes.
Again, what kind of conversations do you have?
Yes.
Because it matters with the company that you have. If you have wrong company, I mean, the kind of conversations that you will have are what will lead to you finding yourself doing that which is contrary to what the word of God says. Again, who are your friends?
Yes.
Where do you hang out?
Yes.
In which spaces?
Yeah.
That matters a lot. Because many a times we go to places by the fact that we are directed by the company that we have.
Yes.
So the kind of company that you have matters a lot.
Yes.
And you need to really look at yourself, do an evaluation, and ensure that you are accountable. The other challenge is most of us do not like correction.
Okay.
Whereby we do not want to be accountable to any spiritual authority. And here I'm speaking to single women who are serving God, or rather who belong to a church community. So if you do not want correction, you cannot receive any guidance. Because every time you're given correction, you either say that it's because he's not in my shoe. Okay. But the authority that God has placed in your life is for a reason. Yes. And they are there to speak on behalf of God. So every time they speak in your life, they are speaking what God would have said. Yeah. And I'll give a personal example. I was in a relationship last year, and I remember I presented this matter before my pastor. And of course, my pastor requested if the young man could come and, you know, see her as my spiritual authority. Yes. And when I went to tell the young man, he said he will decide and tell me when to come. But it took so long. Yeah. And so with that, I continued having this discussion with my pastor. And I remember her telling me, my pastor is a lady. I remember her telling me that, Eva, I do not want to tell you anything, and I do not have a conclusion to this matter, but I can tell you something is not right about this relationship. Yeah. So, you know, it was easy for me to say that you do not understand. I am trying to date. I want to get married. But you see, if we are not doing it the right way, or we are not following the procedures or things that have been laid, you know, by the leaders who lead us, and we refuse to receive that as an instruction, it means we may not end up well.
Yeah.
So we need to look at that and obey the, you know, our leaders that God has placed in our lives.
Okay.
It may look like it's not a very big instruction or a very big correction, but it really matters.
Yeah.
Because I'd say, as a woman who's in love, many a times we are blinded. They say love is blind. You're blinded. So it takes somebody else who's very external to see and help you understand that this is not as it looks.
Yes.
It may look rosy to you, but there's more than meets the eye.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Allow me to take you back on the first challenge.
Yes.
So we are talking about purity as one of the challenges that single women face. And we'll probably discuss how do you deal with that. But I just want us to look at it and say, to that woman who is listening to us this morning and saying, by the way, that is a challenge that I face. I think we need to look at it and say, perhaps it is not abnormal, but I think people need to learn, as you say, look at the company they keep, look at their hearts and guard their hearts, look at the places that they go to and ensure that they are not preoccupying themselves with the wrong material so that now it pushes them into the way of sin. And there's something you say that I think is very important also for our viewers to listen to us. I know we can't discuss in detail because of the hours, but I think what we just need to perhaps stress on that point is, how do you get out of that? How do you get out of that point where you say, my feelings are running amok, but here I am and I am single. You know, how do we deal with that?
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm sure somebody's listening and saying, yeah, that point, I feel that point, but how do we help somebody deal with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, learn to set your boundaries.
Okay.
It's okay to say no. Because many a times we fear losing the other party because we want to just agree to everything they're telling you. What about setting your own boundaries?
Yes.
Like, for example, I don't pick calls after 9 p.m. Yes, and these are my own boundaries that I have set.
Yes.
Because I want to be in a safe space, depending with who's calling.
Yes.
I would only take it as an emergency if I'm receiving a call from my mother or my siblings. But if it's a work issue, it can wait. Because there are many times we've received calls, people insinuating they are calling because of work, but it has other other things attached to the calls. So set your own boundaries.
Okay.
Like, if you're going out for a date, how long can you be out there at night? You need to have your own time. I'll not tell you my time because I do not want to dictate anything to you, but it really matters. Then if you're also a woman who's in the house of God, because yes, we've had issues of we are serving, but again, we are struggling. I would say depend on God. Psalms 119 verses 9 reminds us, it was written and it says, how can a young man stay pure? By hiding the word of the Lord in his heart. I remember when I started working, I used to pray that prayer consistently. Like, I used to tell God, I want to hide your word in my heart, that I may not sin against you. And again, I used to pray that prayer that Joseph said. You remember when he was running away from Potiphar, that how can I do this and sin against God? So there are things you have to keep on speaking to yourself, and then make sure your actions and your word match. Because this comes as an act of faith, because when you tell God, God is able to help you come out of a situation that you're in. Because there are things we cannot do with our own power and strength. We have to rely on the power of the Holy Spirit to help us, you know, and transform us. Because the work of transforming us is His. So we have to, you know, submit and surrender ourselves to Him, that He may help us. And as I'm speaking to that woman out there, I'm also putting myself in this.
Yes.
Because by the fact that I've come this far, it doesn't mean I've overcome.
Yes.
So I keep on speaking to myself this
Yes.
every day. Yes.
Wow, wow. Powerful. I hope you're listening this morning. It's not impossible. It is possible, but let's depend on God. Let's watch the company we keep, and let's continually speak and act. Set boundaries so that you don't find yourself in a compromising situation. Okay, thank you. So the next point, again, I'll take you back, is when you were talking about receiving guidance. What I heard from you is that people feel I'm late. So it is better to get a bad one than get none at all. It's better to rush, and for whatever it is worth, let me at least get that ring on my finger. Yeah, I just want us to delve into that a little bit. From what you have interacted with, especially with other ladies, how much of a concern, number one, is that, and how do we deal with that? That even if somebody just says hi, you feel, God, could this, be the one? Or somebody just is insinuating that perhaps they would be interested, and you suddenly feel, oh, maybe God is coming through for me. So you feel, let me secure this quickly before, it has a chance to scatter out, to come down. So again, maybe just to give clarity to how that is and what to do in such a scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here to encourage you as a single woman waiting on God.
Yeah.
Like I said, God did not create fewer men than women. I know statistics say that men are fewer than women. And more so for mature single women,
Yes.
as you continue to, the gap narrows. That's what they say.
Yeah.
The gap narrows, and they say single men are fewer as you advance in age. I want to say something that we need to avoid a scarce mentality. I know it sounds harsh.
Yeah.
It sounds harsh. Because every time, we have that mentality,
Yes.
we tend to rush to anything that is available. Because I feel like if I don't get hold of this good brother,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know when next I'll find another.
Yes.
Yes? But is that God's will for you?
Yeah.
Because God has the best for you. And when you know, when you find him, you will know him.
Yes.
So we don't need to rush. We don't need to ensure, because my friend was celebrated last month, it is my turn now. I need to, have my friends, come and be part of my wedding planning and my committee and my bridal trail and all that. Yes, I know such pressures lead us to ensure we jump, we get to the next wagon and take off.
Yeah.
But I would really encourage you to take your time, because what is for you, when it's time, you'll get to know it. And then the other thing is, don't find yourself in an emotional web.
Okay.
And this happens mostly in workplaces.
Okay. Explain that a bit.
Okay. Whereby you're a single woman, but you're in a company of either men who are engaged or men who are married.
Yes.
Okay? So there's that tendency of a married man telling you, if I was not married.
Oh.
You understand? If I was not married. But they're already married. It is you. Meaning they want to just be around your company, but for sure, they know it will not end up anywhere.
Yeah.
And this is how most of us end up being side chicks.
Oh.
Yes, because I lied to myself that he fails me. When he starts saying, if I was not married.
Yeah.
Or if I wish I'd met you earlier.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I hear such statements, I keep asking myself, if you'd met me earlier, so if I was 20, it would be okay, But I'm like, it's a wrong statement. You're already married.
Yeah.
So that is, whatever you have is your choice.
Yeah.
That is what excited you the first time you made that choice.
Yes.
And I would wish you well. So I would really caution us to avoid those emotional webs.
Wow.
Because we'll entertain people who are already engaged elsewhere.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
it's going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere.
I think that's a very important point to
Yes.
note. And I say this because I know we are talking about singles, but I think even among basically just as a woman, I think you need to avoid emotional webs, in the sense that because you feel if you talk to somebody, it may be in the workplace, because we spend a lot of hours at the workplace.
Yes.
So people tend to feel that, oh, I can listen to you, I can lend you an ear. People come to the office ranting about their marriages, and you're there listening. What you don't understand, I think, is that you are literally breaking boundaries, because you are starting to create that emotional bond,
Yes.
and yet it cannot, you know, go anywhere.
Yes.
So I think that's a very important point, and I think it also ties in very well with what you cautioned, and you said, have your boundaries, you know.
Yes.
Know what you can say, what discussions you can hold with somebody, because if you don't do that,
Yes.
then you end up actually, you start entertaining those thoughts
Yes,
in
yes.
your mind. Wow, thank you. I love this discussion.
Yes.
Okay, so what else then, what other challenge do these ladies face?
We also need to avoid undefined relationships.
Wow, okay.
Yes? It's so easy to be around someone
Yes.
and they're not defining whether you're their girlfriend, whether you're their fiancé,
Yeah.
whether they intend to marry you. And every time you are in this environment for some time, you'll end up doing ungodly things. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
there's how people bond
Yes.
when you spend each other's time more. So we need to avoid undefined relationships
Okay.
at all costs. Yes.
Okay, so for someone listening this morning, what is an undefined relationship? I think I want us to crystallize that, because I think many people in that category, this is just a brother, you know, no, we are dating, we are not dating. You're being asked for coffee from January to December. Somebody's still asking you for coffee. Oh, I just want to get to know. But there's really no clear direction. So how do you get to a point where you can now define a relationship?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think what makes it hard is because as a woman, I'm not the one to define the relationship. I wait for the man to do it.
Yes.
That is according to me.
Yes.
I've had diverse
Versions.
yes, about this,
Yeah.
because there are women who say, I would go ahead and ask. But for me, I would wait until you tell me who I am. But again, the danger is don't allow someone to waste much of your time if they don't define where the relationship is going.
Yeah.
Yes, so they should tell you whether you've graduated to be a girlfriend or rather, you know, a close friend
Yeah.
who they intend to
settle with.
Yes. Like that should be not really the second day, but at least you should know someone's intention.
Yes.
So that they don't waste much of your time.
Wow.
And then end up being in a relationship for 2 years and you really don't know for how long you'll be in it.
Wow. Viewers, we need to take a break this morning. I can't believe how much time is running, but we'll be right back. So don't touch that dial. This is Thursday Morning Digest on Elevate TV, where we are teaching you, we are empowering you as women, and we are helping you to become that woman that is thriving wherever you are. Thank you, and we'll see you after this short break.
Thank you.
Sister Talk.
Learning to forgive people who offend you. Akichelewa kidogo tu kutoka job na feel sasa huyu hata hana kazi yangu.
A sister is a gift to the community, a friend to many, a golden heart to the meaning of life.
Me, I'm picky. You know me, I'm very sensitive. You know that thing of being sensitive is okay, but we shouldn't wear it like a crown.
On Sister Talk.
Auntie is so respectful that every time auntie, your husband calls auntie, auntie says, Nam, you know, those ones are pretending, no.
We engage on social issues, life challenges, economic empowerment.
Sometimes we need a friend who will slap you to reality and you think about your life.
We share various experiences all rounded through godly and biblical values.
The original intentions of God from the beginning, that his pattern was that he may replicate himself in man.
Sister Talk, every Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Welcome back. This is the Thursday Morning Digest, and again, we still have our guest in studio. Pastor Eva is still with us, and we will continue. I think we had gotten to a very, very interesting place when we were talking about the challenges that mature single women go through. So we just want to wrap up on that, and then now we discuss how we can actually encourage and support our mature single women. Okay. So maybe you can wrap up on the discussion of the challenges, and then we move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd also encourage us not to get to a relationship for wrong reasons. Because many a times we feel mushy and we say, he loves me, I love him. Yeah. And then we forget to wear our reasoning cap on. Because when you date when you're older, most of the times I say you use your mind. Yeah. You don't use your emotions. I used my emotions when I was in my 20s. Yeah. Nowadays I use my mind. So you have to also evaluate things as you get to hear them. Yes. Ask questions for yourself. Yes, when he says he will do this, get to know more. Yes. Because we've had people who, you know, came into people's lives, then they packaged themselves as this person, yet they had another face. So get to ask questions. Yeah. Don't just rush into making decisions because your life depends on it. And your future is dependent on the decisions that you make. Wow. Yes.
Okay. I think you introduced us to a very interesting concept then. Should the standards of mature single women be different from the standards that, let's say, the younger single women use to get a marriage partner?
The standards are the same because marriage is God's idea. Yes. And we must be willing to do it his way. Yes. I want to caution us because who we marry will determine our life's course. So I wouldn't say that I've seen younger women who got married at 23 and they are happily married. Yes. And right now they're celebrating their 15 or so years. Yes. Again, I've seen a single woman who's in her 40s making a wrong decision. So like I'm saying, marriage is God's idea. Yes. Let's be patient to do it his way. Yes. Your bus has not left you. You've not missed where you're going. God has the best in store for you. And he will do it at his own time. Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right.
The other thing we happen to feel like is rushing is our biological clock. Yes. Yes. And many a times we feel like marriage can wait, but children can't wait. But we serve a God who knows what is best for you. Yeah. Many a times we don't have even to bring up our biological children. He knows how he will satisfy your mother nature, your motherly instincts when the time is ripe. Yes. So let's hold on. Let's not rush into making decisions that will, you know, cost our future and cause us not to, you know, fulfill the destiny that God has in store for us. because we tend to receive advices from all quarters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what I hear from you is that whether you marry at 25 or at 50, still
The standards are
the standards are the same, because the choice of the partner you get will determine the course of your life.
Sure.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Okay. So we can now look at how does one wait? Yeah. What should I be doing? Yeah. Should I be, going to social events to meet people? How should I wait? Should I be in prayer? Should I go to a prayer center and, pray? How should a mature single woman wait?
Yes. Everything you've said is appropriate.
Yes.
We should pray. We should go for social events.
Yes.
Because we are social beings. And this is where we'll get to meet people.
Yes.
But again, as you are waiting, I will encourage you as a single woman, enjoy time with yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
This is what I tell myself. Either you will be in this body longer than you will be with even that spouse you desire to have.
Yeah.
Like I can't separate myself from myself. So I should learn to love on myself. I should learn to enjoy my space and my time.
Yeah.
Even as I, develop many things around me.
Yes.
When I was in my 20s, I attended meetings and I could hear pastors say, go to school. If you have money, buy that land. I used to think, no, I'll wait. That man will come, and come with all those things.
Yes.
But I've realized there's that opportunity to just develop yourself. If you need to acquire another degree, it's the right time.
Yes.
Because also you need to occupy your time so that you don't have a lot of free time in your hands,
yes.
because this is now how you get up doing things that do not glorify God. But once your time is occupied, you find yourself, you look back and say, wow, thank God I had that opportunity because I acquired 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Wow.
I'm so intentional, more so this year. Like I make sure all my Saturdays are occupied.
Wow.
I pay to go for events. It's costly.
Yes.
I go for swimming even alone because I have to create that time to be with myself, and many a times create time to be with other people.
Yes.
So I found myself going for events that I've had to pay to be there, but to make sure I meet new people.
Yes.
I interact.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, as much as I'll receive from them, they will also receive from me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So I hope you're listening, mature single women. It doesn't mean it doesn't apply to everybody, but it just means keep yourself busy, build yourself. In fact, I think I'm reminded of that parable that Jesus gave. The kingdom of heaven is like this. It's about the 10 virgins. The bridegroom took long to come.
Yes.
But it is only those who had extra oil that were actually able to meet the groom. So it means you need to be doing something. You need to be resourceful.
Yes.
Even as you wait for the groom. Because I see some people say, and I think you pointed that out when you started on this question, that people will be saying, no, I can't buy that land because, he should come with it. Or even what I heard not too long ago, that sometimes women feel that if they progress too much, they become unmarriageable. Actually, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on that. That if I do my master's, I even go to my PhD, I buy land, or I buy my car, or I do XYZ, then I become unmarriageable, and I'm reducing the number of men that could approach me. What is your take on that?
I've had many people ask that question many a times. Like I remember I was in an event 2 weeks ago, and then a young woman who I got into my car asked me that. She was like, now because you have A, B, C, D, you don't, keep, what are they called? Prospects. Away. And I was like, I just smiled and I was like, I never thought about it from that angle.
Yes.
But it could be possible, but I would want to encourage us. There's that one person who was cut out for you. They'll not get intimidated because of probably the material things that you have. That's not what they are looking for. They will look beyond that. Because beauty is not this which you see in the outside. It should come from within. Yes.
Wow, wow. Okay. So now we've talked about how a lady can continue waiting and just, you know, understanding that in God's time it will happen, and that, you know, they have to keep doing what they are supposed to be doing. But then now we come to that question where you go for Christmas or Easter, you go home and your parents are like, when are we eating pilau? You know, the way Kenyans like to ask.
Yes.
Or, you know, what is happening? Is there someone? In fact, for some time, parents will try to hide it. Then it gets to a point they're like, is there someone? You know, how can somebody deal with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hard question, but I'll try answer.
Yes.
First of all, I would say create meaningful relationships and connections with other people. Because we've been in spaces where we avoid going home because of, you know, that kind of pressure that comes from, you know, family.
Yes.
And they mean well. By they mean well. They are not... They just want to satisfy their curiosity because they see you are of age and you need to get married.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I'll share my own journey.
Yes.
I'm a firstborn.
Okay.
And I have other siblings who are married. So you can imagine those questions that come out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad because my mother is patient with me. She's never pressured me. But I remember one time we went for an extended family meeting.
Yes.
And then we had this conversation and we were told, tell someone something good. But now when I got to one of my aunties, this is what she told me. Okay, she said in Kikuyu because I'm from Nyahururu. But now, I don't know whether I'm able to translate. She said, yesterday we were discussing about you and we asked, you've never found anyone? And I was like, for a moment I was hurt. Yeah. Because I thought you were told to tell someone something good. Yes. Why did you have to say we were discussing you? So I feel you when you fear going home. Yeah. You fear going for what do they call it? School reunions. Yes. Because the girls you are with in school are married with kids. You know. Yeah. You fear hanging out with the friends you had 10 years ago, because right now your conversations are different. Yeah, yeah. But I would encourage you, show up. There's something you can offer that probably they don't know. Yeah. It could be a business idea. You just sit and discuss other things besides children and husbands. Yeah. Because that is what we fear. When it's my turn, what will I say? Yet I do not have something to place on the table. But you still have something that you can add value to their lives. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. So if somebody comes and asks you, so what was your response? I'm curious to hear. Okay. What was your response, say, to your auntie? Because I think many people deal with that. So everybody's always asking you. So how do you respond to that? Yeah. At times as a spiritual person, you say, you ask, yes, are you praying enough? But again, if I'm just dealing with somebody who's not saved, I would say I've not met the person. I've not met the one. Yes. You know, because many a times, even as I sit down, and ask myself, did I miss on my Mr. Right? But again, because it has not happened, yes, I cannot, there's no much that I can do. Yes. I can only be gracious to myself. And of course, not speak rudely to the person asking. Yes. Be polite to them, but just say, I've not met the one. I think there's no much they can do. Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. So now I want you to take me now to the Bold Singles. Tell me about that program, because I believe you're launching it soon. Yes, yes. Okay. We want to journey with singles over 30. Okay. Because these are the ones who are asking themselves, is anything wrong with me? Yes. You know, when you get to 30, is when now you get to hear those questions, either in church, but like I said, they mean well. Yes. But as a person, you get to sit and ask yourself, is everything okay with me? Yeah. Again, you ask yourself, like there I say, did I miss my Mr. Right? or what plan does God have for me? You know, those are the questions that keep ringing in your mind. So the reason why we're starting this community is so that we may accommodate each one of us to just speak life over these situations and say it is okay. It is okay to wait as long as you're waiting on God.
Yeah.
Because we've read and seen stories of women who waited, even in the Bible. We saw Sarah waited for a son, even after having received a promise. You know, it took 25 years more for that promise to be accomplished. So you're not an exemption. God may have said through prophecies, through confirmations, but it's taking long. Wait. God is still faithful to honor his word. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So what category actually of ladies are you looking at? You said over 30, but do you deal with single mothers? Do you deal with those who've divorced? Do you look at maybe widows? Yeah. What category of ladies would you be looking at to join this community?
Okay. I think I'll say we don't discriminate.
Okay.
Because there's someone who's a single mother because it was circumstantial. And if we start putting these categories, we may end up not becoming a blessing. Because first of all, we are sharing our own stories. And then we get to hear the story of every woman. Because some of us have scars, meaning our hearts are already healed. Okay? So we wear that as a badge of honor because I am showing my scars to say, I went through this pain, but this is who I am today. And with that, I speak to the life of, you know, to the life of another woman. And of course, even when we get to share stories and we get to hear your story, like we say, this is a space where we will not judge you. We will just love on you, care for you, pray with you, allow you to cry on our shoulder and say it is okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So for the ladies that are listening to us today, as long as you're single and you're over 30, you can join this community.
Sure.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what are some of the programs that perhaps you want to run or that will help these ladies?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now we are not into programs.
Okay.
We want to first have it as a hangout.
Okay.
Where we just meet. And like I said, these are sessions we get to hear. Like if today we say, Laureen, you're the one sharing your story, we sit, listen. Okay. And then from there, it's able to help us process our grief. Like if you share something, like let's assume you're grieving about something that happened in your life along the way. With that, I'm able to relate and I say, sure, I've gone through the same thing. So how do we just love on each other and pray for each other to overcome that? Or rather, you can be sharing, you're going through it in this season, but somebody else went through it last year and overcame. And so it's easy to tell you, this is what I did, this is how I went through. Again, these are just venting sessions where we'll come speak out our pain. You know, there's so much that we keep to ourselves. So we'll have sessions to just vent. And again, many a times pray, have prayer walks where we just pray over issues and commit everything to God. So as at this year, it's still not a program. It is a safe space where we will come. Yes.
Wow. So women, I hope you're listening. There's a place where you can go and just talk about what you're going through. It has its own that stage in life has its peculiar challenges. And so being among your own tribe, so to speak, helps you to be able to process what you're going through. And also you're able to listen to other people's stories. Because I've found actually that listening to other people's stories is one of the best therapies you can ever, give to yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you think yours is bad until you hear someone else's, then you decide, maybe I should be more grateful.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when are you launching this community?
This Saturday.
Okay.
The 7th of October.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it can we invite people or you have a select team?
Yes, we welcome you to join us.
Okay.
We will be meeting at Azuri Premier Cuisine.
Okay.
It's along Aga Khan Walk.
Okay.
Yes. you're welcome. And then after this launch, we will do a book study later.
Okay.
This book, it landed in my hands. I was given as a gift, but it has been so helpful.
Yes.
It is a book written by an African woman who's Nigerian, and also in the space of waiting. So the book title is Happily Whenever After.
Yeah.
I've read it. It also inspired my singlehood journey.
Yes.
And this is the book study we will start doing immediately after the launch.
Yes.
So I welcome you to join us. Trust me, it will be a fun and exciting time together.
Okay.
Even as we continue to, just process this journey which we are in together.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what is your take now, looking at single mothers? The reason I'm asking this question is there are a number of women that are single. Either they were married before or they were not married, but they have children. Yeah. Somebody may be asking themselves, is there hope for me? Can I really get married?
Yes.
What would be your response to that?
Okay.
Yeah.
With this, I will answer with something I've been studying.
Yeah.
I've been studying a Japanese art, ancient art of embracing imperfection. It's called kintsugi. Okay?
Yes.
Because in our homes, if such a cup breaks,
yes,
I'll throw it away. But in the Japanese ancient art, which has been there like for 400 years,
yes,
they take the same ceramic or vase or a cup that has broken and put it back together. And then where there are cracks, they put gold, meaning it is joined with gold. Yeah. So kintsugi means joined with gold.
Wow. Wow.
It does not matter whether you feel your life is broken, but there's that space of your life being put together.
Yes.
And so even as I was studying this, what lessons did I learn? That I'm better with my golden cracks.
Yes.
Even the single woman who feels like I didn't want my life to end this way.
Yes.
You're better with your golden cracks. The other thing is you need to cultivate a life of gratitude.
Yes.
Because even as you look at your baby, sorry to use this, but it's a scar because it reminds you of something that happened in your life.
Yes.
But as you continue thanking God for that, it becomes a blessing.
Yes.
Yesterday morning, I woke up very anxious. And I remember I had to go read Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7.
Yes.
But I did not dwell on that. I dwelt on verses 8.
Yes.
That whatever things are lovely, whatever things are admirable, whatever things are... There's a woman out there who's trusting God for a child, and when they see you with a child, they still count you're a blessed woman. So with that, it may look like an imperfection.
Yeah.
It may look like a flaw, but I've said, with all that, you're still strong.
Yes.
You're still out to serve your purpose. It does not mean that your story has ended. No, you're still somewhere. Again, you're not a victim of your circumstance.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yes.
But I would encourage you not to dwell on the past.
Yes.
Rise up. There's much more for you.
Yes.
God has the best in store for you, including a man for you, who will come and love you together with your baby.
Yeah.
Again, what I've learned is that you cannot realize your full potential unless you go through tough times. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Even when you look at yourself, things that you've been able to do later, it's because you were able to overcome a situation in the past.
Yes.
And so now you look at yourself and you encourage yourself and say, if I did this in the past, this which I'm facing today, I'm able to do it. Of course, by the power of God. It's not by our own strength.
Yes.
Have a community where you'll be vulnerable because you need to be a support system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we are saying even single women are encouraged to be part of the Bold Singles community, because this is a community where we encourage vulnerability.
Yes.
We encourage you to just not fear.
Yeah.
Share your story because it will encourage another woman. And with that, you'll be better with your golden cracks as you encourage another.
Wow. 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 Okay. Viewers, I hope you are learning. If you're there and you're listening to us, maybe you're a single mother and you're losing hope, just listening to our guest this morning tells us that all is not lost. Let's not just focus on what's behind. Let's look at the goodness of God. Let's look at the blessings that are around us.
Yes.
Let's give thanks because there are people really who want to be where we are,
Sure.
you know, but they're not there.
Yes.
So let's look around and give thanks to the Lord. Okay. Another thing that perhaps I would want us to just look at this morning, when we talk about mature singles, okay, what do we, or what should a single woman, somebody is approaching them and they're saying, you know, perhaps I'm a widower, you know, and I have my own children, and maybe this is also somebody, they may be single, or they have their own children as well. They're saying, why don't we just, you know, start a family? We are mature, you know, we know what we want. Let's just get married. What would you say?
I know there are issues and challenges that have come with blended families.
Yes.
Because your children have to agree about that.
Yeah.
I see people get to shield their own children because they want the two of you to relate, but they're not sure how their children will do it.
Yes.
So many a times it takes time because the children are part of this decision.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would encourage the two of you to also involve your children.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, when you become a blended family, there are things you'll have to do together as a family. Yes, but I would encourage, if that opportunity presents itself, please try. Yes, give it a try.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are coming to the end of our program this morning. You won't believe where the time has gone. But before we end it, I just would like you to give a parting shot. What would be your message to this mature single, bold singles that are out there? What would you want them to take away from this show and from you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I would encourage each one of us that the scars you have today, God desires to turn that into a beautiful ministry. And that is the vision we have for the bold singles. And then how are we going to do it? By raising a community of whole women who in turn will rebuild, restore, and of course function in their God-given assignment. You have an assignment that God created you. When he created you, when he thought about you before the foundations of the earth. There's an assignment he had specifically for you. So when you are redeemed, when you are rebuilt, and when you are restored, it is easy and you are able to function in your assignment as per God's plan.
Wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Eva, for coming to our show this morning. You've shared with us very, very important nugget. And I believe our viewers have been listening, and you've heard that being a mature single doesn't mean it's the end of life. Doesn't even mean you're late. You are in God's time. Let's give thanks. Let's wait on God correctly. Let's not rush and end up making the wrong decisions because the choice of the spouse that you make will determine how the rest of your life unfolds. So with that, we've come to the end of our program. As I said, we always come to you live from our studios right at the heart of the city of Nairobi. And so thank you for joining us today. Let's do this again next Thursday when we'll have again other amazing guests who will equip us as women so that we are able to flourish in the spaces that we are in. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Laureen Magotsi. God bless you. Until next time.